Now, welcome back to biology, the basics of biology. Now we have come into chapter 4, which is chemical composition in a cell. So we will be looking at 5 major composition which is in a cell, namely the main composition, which is water, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. So altogether, these 5 major composition in a cell that we will be looking into. So let's look at the first one, which is water. And we will have to look at the properties of water and its importance in the cell. Okay, we know most of our body is made up of water. 70 to 90% of our body consists of water. Okay, and you know that they are present in the cell. Remember, we have discussed in the previous chapter about osmosis. Okay, about the movement of water molecules. We compare two regions, the intracellular and also the extracellular fluid. Okay, so to say that this cell cytoplasm, the main composition is water, and we know water is very crucial to enable all these metabolic processes to take place. Okay, it is also present in lymph, in the blood plasma, yes, and also the interstitial fluid. Interstitial here means in between the cells. So imagine the cells in our body, they are surrounded by water, okay, by the interstitial fluid, and we know that water is definitely in the interstitial fluid. Now let's look at the structure. Water is very special because it is a polar molecule, consists of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. And we know water is the universal solvent, and that means it is able to dissolve a lot of substances. Okay, those polar substances, those that have those charges. Okay, also we have discussed this when we look at the plasma membrane. One of the aspects of the substance that can diffuse through the plasma membrane is that we check in terms of the polarity of the substances. Okay, so these are the importance of water in cell. Okay, first, as I've mentioned just now, the medium. Okay, water serves as the medium for biochemical reactions. So all these processes, digestive reactions, for example, okay, requires water in breaking down. So the terms hydrolysis, hydro refers to water, and lysis, lyse refers to breakdown. So it serves as an important medium for biochemical reactions. Water. Okay, next, the word solvent, which means it can dissolve many ionic compounds. Okay, the one that has charges. Okay, such as table salt, NaCl. Okay, and also the polar molecules. Also, it is a transport medium in the blood. Okay, the lymphatic, excretory, and also digestive system serves as a transport medium. Okay, next is maintaining osmotic balance and turgidity. Osmotic balance, because we discussed about the movement of water molecules. So it is able to maintain the stable internal environment within a living organism. Okay, in terms of support the structure of a cell, because 90% of the protoplasm is made up of water. Okay, protoplasm, that means cytoplasm with nucleus. Okay, next, water maintains body temperature. Water serves as moisture and lubrication. Okay, especially our respiratory surface, our alveolus, must have some kind of moisture. Okay, that's why the smoker's lung, they are a little bit dried up because of the presence of the cigarette smoke. And this is not good because it has to have a moist surface to enable the gases to diffuse in. Also, mucus assists the movement of food substances in the intestinal tract. Okay, another one is that it has high surface tension. Okay, and the cohesion, that means this one is D, they tend to stick to one another. Okay, which enables water to move in a long unbroken columns through the vascular tissue in the plants. And we're referring to the xylem, the vascular tissue particularly. So we'll be looking at this cohesive and adhesive forces later on. Okay, now let's look at the properties of water. Okay, water is an inorganic compound, okay, consisting of hydrogen and also oxygen elements. One oxygen atom with two hydrogen atom. Okay, this is one molecule of water. This is another molecule of water, and that between the water molecules, they are bonded by this hydrogen bond, okay, which is actually a weak bond. Okay, water molecules are polar molecules. We call them polar because the shared electrons between the oxygen and the hydrogen. Okay, this is hydrogen, this is oxygen. So they are sharing electrons. One comes from water, the other one comes from hydrogen. This sharing of electrons is more, the shared electrons, they are more attracted towards oxygen, okay, which is more electronegative. Okay, they are more electronegative. So this polarity produces hydrogen bonds, okay, which allows water to act as a universal solvent. So that means this readily breaks whenever it comes in contact with those ionic subcompounds such as salt. Okay, and then we say that water is able to dissolve salt, for example, the ionic compounds, the polar molecules. So this universal solvent of properties of water allows the solutes, okay, such as glucose, electrolytes, to be transported through the plasma membrane into the cells, okay, for biochemical reactions, okay, for transport, because they are able to dissolve many ionic compounds. Okay, can you see the relationship right now? Okay, this is the structural formula of water molecules, which means when you are to depict it in this manner, you must not place it in a linear position, but it's like a V over here, okay, because of the electronegative, more electronegative over here. The uneven sharing of the electrons, distribution of electrons. Okay, this is the valence electron of water molecules. Sixth valence of electrons. Okay, in total there are 8 electrons in oxygen. Okay, and then the valence electron over here pushing one another, so that's why this hydrogen atoms is pushed to be located in this manner, a V-shaped. Okay, the cohesive force and adhesive force of water. So water molecules are attached to each other through a cohesive force. So that means this is one molecule of water, another molecule of water, there is another one over here. Between the water molecules, this is the cohesive force. Okay, at the same time, water molecules are also attached to other surface, and it is through adhesive force, for example, is in between these two different surface, water surface and the surface of the, for example, the xylem vessels. Okay, because of these two forces, it is able to produce capillary action. Take note of capillary action, which we will discuss further in Form 5, one of the chapter, transport in plants. Okay, this is very essential, which allows water to enter and also to move along this narrow space, okay, which is the xylem tube. Okay, and to enable water to be transported throughout the plants from the roots to the other parts of the plants, and it is against the gravitational force. Okay. Next is the specific heat capacity of water. Okay, the specific heat capacity of water. Water itself has a high specific heat capacity of this amount. 4.2 kilojoule per kg per degree Celsius, which means 4.2 kilojoule of heat energy is required to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius, which means water absorbs a lot of heat energy with a small rise in temperature. And it's very important to maintain the body temperature of organisms. Okay, that's why our body temperature does not fluctuate and it is maintained at the optimum temperature. So there's a questions here for you, brainstorming. How do aquatic animals live in a frozen sea water? Okay, this is a picture of a polar bear in the sea covered with ice. The sea covered with ice. So how are they able to survive? Think of it. Okay, that is about it on water. Let's look back whether we have answered the learning objectives. The properties of water molecule, okay, and also with its importance in the cell.